Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. This is where I pull back the curtains on medical malpractice and give you some information that I don't think other lawyers are going to share with you. In today's episode, I want to talk about the dramatic rise in medical malpractice. It's going up, 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 and up. And you would think with modern medicine, it should be going down, down, down. But that's not the case. I want to share with you those statistics. I want to share with you why I think this has been happening. I've done some shorts on this. I put them on my YouTube channel, but I wanted to get on to do a longer form version because I think it's a really important topic. So let's get right to it. So I have some statistics here, a lot of paperwork on my desk. I wanted to share with you these facts and figures. We're going to talk about 1999 to 2025. In 1999, there were 98,000 deaths from preventable medical errors. In 2004, that number went up to 195,000. In 2008, it went up again to 180,000. And in 2025, that number went up again. 376,000 people died from preventable medical errors. 376,000. That doesn't count the people that didn't die from medical mistakes, because that number is 400,000. 400,000 people are thought to have been injured by preventable medical errors, whether that's medication errors, surgical complications, misdiagnosis, falls in the hospital. There's a big list of why that's been happening. But if I told you those statistics right at the beginning of the episode, and I didn't share with you what country, I would have guessed some other country, some other third world country that didn't have the same kind of medical standards that we did. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Let me share with you something that I came across. So, I'm a medical malpractice lawyer in Maryland. And so I try to rely on things that come from Maryland. So right here it says, Johns Hopkins studies suggest medical errors are the third leading cause of death in the U.S. Now, physicians are advocating for changes in how deaths are reported. And maybe they're trying to get those numbers down, but the numbers don't lie. Look at this from Johns Hopkins. Can you imagine it's the third leading cause of death in the U.S.? I'm going to stop my screen for a second so I can come back to you. So why is this happening? So the studies show that the principal reason why this is happening is a failure to communicate. I've done videos on this before. We just don't communicate like we used to. I mean, those of us in our personal life know that it's very rare that we talk to people on the phone. Most of it is done by texting and some other form of communication. We have a lot of computers and laptops and things. It's no different in medicine. I mean, doctors who are coming up now went to school on computers, and they're used to having computers. And so that computer is now standing in the way between us and the doctor. So in the old days, doctors would talk to you, they would look at you, they would ask you your history, they would look at your symptoms, and they would try to come up with a tailored diagnosis for you. You could talk to them. And the doctors who come from a different era have told me over and over and over again that if you listen to the patient long enough, they'll tell you what's wrong with them, which means there's an art. It's not just a science. It's talking to the patient and getting an idea what's going on with the patient. Because if you get the patient talking, usually they will tell you kind of what's wrong with, and as a doctor, you can figure out something. Everything's just not pre-programmed into a computer, but that's how things are going nowadays. So the studies have shown that there is a lack of communication between doctor and patient. Also, they're finding that a lot of times during the handoff, that means when one shift ends and another shift begins, that the information that's being conveyed from the outgoing team to the ongoing team is really not adequate. So if you have bad information coming in as a new nurse or a new doctor coming in, it's going to really hamper your ability to provide the quality medical care that you need. Now, these numbers are staggering. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're thinking to yourself, well, what's that have to do with me? Well, I want to make a couple of points. First of all, you're not alone. If you think you're the only one that's had medical malpractice committed upon you, the numbers tell you otherwise. You're part of a very large group, unfortunately. And that may mean that if you feel you're alone, that there's no reason to call a lawyer, that you're just going to be out there by yourself, that it's not going to be able to be proven, that people are going to judge you, and that you really shouldn't even call a lawyer in the first place. Well, the legal system is our only way to hold doctors and nurses and hospitals accountable. So these statistics should let you know that there are so many people that are being injured, and only a fraction of those people are even calling lawyers to bring lawsuits. And the thing that I'm going to tell you is that I can't promise, but I hope that one of the byproducts of what I do for a living is that if I help you, I'm going to help the medical profession. Because if I'm going to point out the standards of care that were not complied with, that were not met, hopefully the next time it won't happen to someone else. Now, I have to worry about you one client at a time, and I do. I take a lot of compassion, a lot of time to help you in the best way that I can. But I want you to know that by doing so, not only are you helping yourself, but you're helping other people. Hopefully, in time, we can get those statistics down. Those numbers should not be rising in America. They should be going down. But as of 2025, that's not the case. Now, this is early 2026 that I'm recording this video. I hope that at the end of this year, I'm going to be able to come back to you and tell you that, in fact, medical mistakes are gone down. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I really appreciate you listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if you're watching on video. And stay tuned for another episode real soon.